What's up, guys? We have our first ever Duos League here. The Loch, Ness, Lapras. Me and Lyrics are taking on the world.
That's right, we are.
So, logo, design-wise, we added the best team in the NBA, the Boston Celtics, with a picture in the background of Loch Ness. Kind of looks pretty good. I think after I made the Milwaukee Bucks logo, this one turned out pretty well. Let's just go with that. But we kind of took the two sides, put them together between me and Lyrics, and yeah, we got this Duos League here. It's not two Pokemon at a time, but it's a two-headed team. So me and Lyrics are both the coaches of this team.
Yes.
So how this league works, there's two coaches. Each coach is required to name a signature Uber and Tera captain that the other coach cannot bring to games. More on that during the draft analysis. The coaches share a drafted team pool of the other 11 to 12 drafted Pokemon. All Coach 1s will play against each other, and all Coach 2s will play against each other. I believe that I am Coach 1 and Lyrics is Coach 2, so we will always face the respective coach on the other team. Like, the teams won't change up on us for no reason. It's not random. It's the Coach 1s will play Coach 1s. For our first pick, we picked Kieran White. Going crazy with the Dunkarooski here. This is Lyrics' signature Uber. We went and picked this foremost, before anything, because it pairs with Kieran Black. That is the reason that we drafted this Uber. It's a strong special attacker, its ability is Turbo Blaze, so it ignores things like Levitate, and it's got Freeze Dry and Fusion Flare as a couple of moves that a lot of Pokemon don't get. Freeze Dry is good for those water types. Fusion Flare is good for pretty much anything that Ice and Dragon can't hit. You got anything else on this guy, Lyrics?
He hits like a truck for no reason whatsoever.
Pretty
and,
cheap for the Uber too, to be fair, to chime in.
Like, you know, Turbo Blaze, you can bring in Flash Fire because you just ignore abilities. So no Levitate, no Unaware, no Magic Guard for, like, you know, toxic things, or Magic Bounce, I should say, actually. So, like, nothing can really wall this with its move pool.
Special attack 170. I mean, there's all the rest is just extra. Pick 2, Kieran Black. If that wasn't enough of a tell, that last the first pick there. So this is my signature Uber. What we did is we drafted two Ubers that are the exact same type, and the real difference is just their attack and special attack are kind of flipped. So it's a strong physical attacker, and the set it's most well known for is that Loaded Dice Scale Shot Icicle Spear kind of combo. It's got a lot of versatility, like its defense is actually really good paired with that health as well, but the typing kind of is tough to do defensive sets with. But
like, the special attack's also respectable, like 120, like if you need Freeze Dry or Earth Power to hit something and you can't physically, you're still gonna hit it really hard.
Same goes with Kieran White, I think, right? It's got 120 attack.
Yeah, I think White gets scale shots, so if I need some speed, like, I'm gonna hit something for decent chip.
Overall, it's kind of almost our 1 and 2 pick are almost just one pick, really, because they're both the same Mon, they're just a little bit different. The only thing is, I can only bring Kieran Black, and Kieran White can only be brought by Lyrics. We can't interchange those.
Something we forgot to say with Black is, cause it's Zekrom, you get Fusion Bolt, so you don't get walled by, like, a Water Fairy like Primarina. You'll hit it for super effective.
And it also gets Freeze Dry, if I really need it. That Freeze Dry and the Fusion Bolt.
For a Gastrodon and Lantern. I think someone drafted Lantern for the electric community, so...
Yep. Dragon Water types, too. Some of the legendaries like Palkia.
Aye.
Our third pick was Lando T. Well, technically speaking, it wasn't really our third pick. We made some big changes in Grace, and I ordered these by point number. So our third pick, quote unquote, was Lando third.
Our third most expensive member.
So he is just a physical. I've used Lando T before. It was a long time ago though, so it was back when I really didn't understand Pokemon. physical attack or ground immunity that was neutral to rock, which is not easy to find. And it also has Intimidate. I mean, it's got so many other niche small things. Like, I think it gets, like, Sludge Bomb, right? And its special attack is still decent. Like, there's so many small things you can do with Lando.
He gets U-turn. He gets Grass Knot, I believe, as well. Yeah, he gets Grass Knot. You get Stealth Rocks. You get Rocks Up. Just really versatile Mon if you needed to be a sweeper or just a bulky switch in for Intimidate.
Yeah, I think all of the other toolbox that comes with it, paired with the ground immunity neutral to rock, is just great for this, especially when we have 2 Ubers that are weak to rock.
Absolutely.
Galarian Slow King.
This was another Grace Mon that we
completely
forgot about.
Yeah, we went with we were going to originally draft Ninetales Alola, it got picked, then we dropped the Snow entirely, but then in Grace, we were alerted to the fact that we probably should add some Snow to this team. So we got Slow King Galar, because it breaks that ice. All the things that make Snow are usually ice types, but this is not. So this gets Chilly Reception, which makes Snow. And we don't have to worry about the rock resist or the fighting. I mean, the rock weakness and fighting weakness. That's the real reason that we have this. As well as Fairy, just because our 2 Ubers are also dragons.
And, like, most importantly, like, there's 3 things. Grounded Poison, so we don't have to worry about Toxic Spikes or that. Chilly Reception is slow pivot, so we get hit first, then we slowly pivot into our Kyrems for the Snow Boost, so we just get a free swap in, and Regenerator, so we just get our health back. So, like, he's kind of a wall for, like, hazards, slowly pivot into Ubers to just start taking hits.
Quackable, a fighting water type, which I found to be one of the better types that we truly needed for this team. I kept trying to not draft a fighting water type, but somehow I kept ending up drafting one in the draft plan. So,
I love your war fightings.
I really do for some reason. So, the tech on this thing, very similar to Lando T. It's just got so much of it. Rapid Spin, Aqua Step, Moxie, Roost, and it's a Rock Resist. It just fit so well for the toolbox that it had. 120 physical attack as well is nothing to, overlook. Special attack 85 if we truly need to run something crazy. We got that. Moxie is a great ability no matter what, in my opinion. I love Moxie. Pair that with Aqua Step or Rapid Spin, I mean, it just snowballs real quick.
Good for getting rid of our hazards if we need them, and if there's a really annoying steel type that might wall one of the Kyrems, we have close con. Like, it's fast, heavy hitting, so just chip it down for a kill later on.
Yeah, there's really not much to explain about this pick. Overall, it's just, I feel most people would say it's a good pick.
Definitely.
Aegislash, a Mon that I have personally never gotten to use. But again, the typing for this Mon was so important that we were able to grab. Originally, I think we were going for Goldengo, but that got taken, so we had to default to the next pick, which I think is actually better for us.
I mean, like, you can see the base stats. He's very much either a wall or heavy attacker.
His stats change depending on if he's a sword or a shield, which it depends on the move that you use, right?
Yeah, so if you do an attack move, you're going to Blade Form, but if you do King Shield or a status move... No, I think you need to do King Shield to swap back to Shield Form.
It's actually crazy that it has 140 special attack, too. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's very much a mixed thing. Like, it can just be if you need a physical breaker, it's there. If you need a special breaker, it's there. I think its move pool is a bit very much mainly Steel and Ghost, but he did get like close combat in Sword and Shield, I want to say.
That's so, Sacred Sword too, right?
Yeah, Secret Sword is probably better for like some of the other Ubers that get a free stat buff and a defense when they come in, because you just ignore defenses with Sacred Sword. So any like body pressers that try to be cute and set up on you, you just ignore their defense.
So as you can see, Rock, Fairy, Steel, Dragon, Resist, and it's also a fighting immunity, so it pairs so well with a Dragon Ice type.
And Spin Blocker.
As well as a Spin Blocker. We do need that Ghost type to be doing that.
Yeah.
Next we got Volcanion. right in the mid tiers around that 15-point mark, we just kept hitting Mons that their typing was just so good for protecting our Uber here.
Yeah, this is the main steel resist for the team because it quad resist steel.
It's a fire and ice resist as well. Steam eruption, special attacker, but the typing is what was super important with Volcaning, just to make sure that we can protect our Kirams here. Special defense and defense, both respectable as well. So we will want to use it as the fire ice steel resist.
And water immune, so if there's a Scarf Kyogre doing water spout, that just swaps in and shuts it off completely.
Yeah, that's kind of an extra tidbit that I didn't think about until now. That's pretty good for us.
Very good.
Next, we needed our fairy type, so we got Florges. I don't know if I've ever actually drafted Florges, but it's a very passive fairy type that has some really good special attack stats. So you can run Calm Mind and flip the script completely.
It's deceptively very strong, and like 75 speed isn't the worst thing for a bulky Mon. It's actually quite high. When you get in terms like Glow King's known as bulk, and he's only 30 speed.
Yeah, I think that Glow King's stats overall are kind of disappointing. But I mean, its utility for our team is what makes it worth the points. But this made me kind of realize that Glow King stats ain't all what they seem.
Glow King's more for like the typing and, you know, chill reception. But enough about him. We're talking about my girl Florges. I draft Florges as like my main fairy type. I think she's...
Do you really?
Yeah, Florges is really good. Like, when you think about it, like those stats, what's switching into a Moonblast?
Really not much, dude. I agree with you.
Like even uninfested, that's still 112 base special attack.
Yep. It also gets defog just for, you know, shits and giggles there.
And special defense is just insane. You don't even need like special invest at times. You can just put it in all physical bulk.
Yeah, exactly. Anything that has more defense than a Registeel is just crazy, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Now, we move to my Terra Captain, Flygon.
This is your guy.
This is my guy. My signature Terra Captain. So it's very similar to the Ubers. We each get a Terra Captain that the other person cannot bring. The tech that Flygon brings, Levitate, Boom Burst, Dragon Dance, Terra Blast, Defog, Ground Immunity that resists rocks. We love the ground immunities that resist the rocks that aren't flying. It's so helpful for the team in general. But Flygon just, its stats are, you know, it's fine, around 100 in pretty much everything. It's just something you're always going to have to worry about, and you never know what's going to show up. And add on that it's a Terra Captain, and it's like trying to figure out what this thing is going to be is the main swing in the match.
I don't know if you mentioned, but like this is a free Terra league. There's no set Terras, but there's Terra preview. But like, yeah, Flygon can just really be anything, special, physical. You can't really know with this guy. He can even do bulky sets. He's kind of like a low tier Garchomp in a sense. He can just do what he wants and get away with it.
It's always good to Terra out of a 4x weakness as well. But if I have to pretty much bring him on every single week, I want to be so versatile that I don't even like notice it. That was my main thing with Flygon. Alluding to the classic Registeel, baby. Registeel is gripping that ball like crazy, bro.
Those grips.
Alright, so he's a tank, iron defense, body press. His defense and special defense are both 150. He's that rock fairy and steel resist that, you know, we need for our dragon ice types. And I just put stealth rock there just because I keep drafting Registeel in like every draft ever. I don't know why. Probably because I just love it. But I feel like it's always undervalued, and I just can't not get it.
I think it's because like the defense. Everyone looks at the defenses and be like, okay, that's all it is. But like 75 base attacks aren't horrible, and you can just take 5 hits.
Not to mention curse. I mean, you can do some cool stuff with the attack.
Curse, iron defense, body press, meteor beam, power hair, because he gets that for some reason. He gets I think he gets Supercell Slam now as well, so he's got an electric move.
He also gets Charge Beam, to be fair. Registeel, you know him, you love him.
Absolutely.
Another Mon you may know and love.
Yeah, you're with this guy. I think he wanted to Sui before, but like he's too expensive.
Yeah, because the ghost would have been nice, but I mean, it's a Mon that has an ability that you just don't see in any other Mon. It's so hard to replicate the versatility that Zoroark allows your team to run. Ditto is like the closest thing.
But like you can disguise this as Quaquaval, and the opponent's like Lugias or Lunalis try and hit you with a psychic move, and I'm immune, and they just get nuked.
Same with Slowking. I mean, there's a couple of mons here that are weak to psychic that you can run that type of thing with. Or you lead Zoroark disguised as a Kyurem, and they're like, well, now I switch into my Mirror Herber, and then Zoroark one-shots the Mirror Herber. Like, it adds a whole nother level of play that needs to be respected when we come every week. So, it's a Ghost Resist. Probably wouldn't use it as a Ghost Resist, but it just fills out our charts. Our team overall, if you've noticed, is pretty slow, so we needed something to be a little fast. Illusion, as I said, and it's a good special attacker. But not only a special attacker, it is also 105 base attack, gets Sucker Punch, gets Sword Stance. There's a lot of things you can do with a physical Zoroark that I've brought to games previously as well.
Gets U-turn as well, and he's our Psychic immunity. We don't have a Psychic immunity yet.
Here's your Tera Captain.
This is my guy.
I'll let you explain your guy here.
So, Technician, Fake Out, normal gem, just does a lot of damage to something that doesn't resist or immune. And after that you can just Acrobatics. Really fast, hits deceptively hard, has a lot of like take moves like Knock Off, Triple Axle, double hit if you need multi-hit moves to break sashes for some reason. Fling for any like funny Toxic Orb shenanigans. Just really fast, do some damage, get out, and then come back in and be a nuisance. Just really good, just constant spam flinch on something. Yeah,
this thing is a pain in the ass as a Tera Captain too. You gotta bring it every week, so you want to make sure that it's decent enough that you don't have to like play around it, you know what I mean? You want to be able to just fit this in on any team. And Fake Out Normal Gem Technician, I think it's gonna work every week. Like, how are you gonna... People are either going to be afraid of it and always prep for it, or they're going to just think that you're not bringing it and lose to it, realistically, because it's so good.
A lot of Ubers that aren't like the super fast, Zamazenters or Zacians, which Zacian wasn't allowed in this league, but like, high tier stuff like that. Most Ubers are base like 90 speed, so this thing outspeeds anything that isn't scarfed. So you can just get away with not being scarfed or anything, being adamant.
And for our final pick here, we have Vanillix. As you could probably tell from our first couple of slides with Galarian Slowking, we drafted this thing for the Snow Warning. It gets access to Aurora Veil. It also gets Blizzard. Kind of a very face value type of pick here for 5.
Very underrated Mon. Like, his stats are highly respectable. Everyone thinks Vanillix is good, but if you throw a Scarf on it, like, nothing's taking Blizzards that well unless you like high resist, high special defense.
Yeah, I mean, running Scarf on this thing, the only reason it's 5 points is its typing, and the typing doesn't really matter defensively if you just one-shot everything, you know?
And when you bring it in with Snow Warning, you've got 50% more defense. And 85 defense is also nothing to sleep at, that's decent. I think that's higher than some Ubers, which is funnily enough.
And they try to bring in a water type to resist the Blizzard, you hit him with a Freeze Dry.
Yeah, or you just swap out into something that resists the water Mon, like our big boys, and they'll be in the snow at that point.
Yep, and we do love to see our big boys in the snow.
Absolutely.
And that's it for the draft. The Loch Ness Lapras, baby. This is the first Duos Draft League that I've been a part of, Team Draft League. I've done a couple of Ubers, and haven't used Kyurems yet, so I'm excited to use the Kyurems. I love myself a bit of snow. We got a couple of super bench historical figures here with the Registeel, the Zoroark, and yeah. Thank you guys for coming out. Hope that some of these analyses can help you guys draft your teams. And thanks for Lyrics for coming out and explaining all this with me.
Oh, absolutely. Always happy to help.
Here's to a great season. See you guys in the next one.